What's up, meta nerds? This video is all about the Wellspring of the Force, also known as the Force Planet. It was located in the heart of the galaxy, which I think we can safely say is somewhere in the deep core. The planet itself was not on any star maps, and was tucked away into this bright golden colored nebula. We saw with Yoda that if a Force user would open himself up to this energy, the Force would guide the ship to the planet, but would interfere with electronics upon entering the nebula. Once past this shroud of energy, the barren planet could be seen, which appeared to be a lifeless, fractured world, with geysers shooting up through the cracks. Stars from the rest of the galaxy could be seen, and as Yoda approached, we could see that there were countless geysers. On the surface of the planet, we could also see that there were a ton of these large crystals, which many speculate as being kyber crystals, and we can also see that the geysers provided an opening to the hollow inside of this planet. It is also interesting to point out that R2 has no recollection of approaching this planet, and perhaps stranger, cannot detect what Yoda refers to as life emitting from the planet. Later it was revealed that each of these geysers are enormous streams of Midi-chlorians, the microscopic living organisms through which the Force interacts with other living beings. R2 is usually able to see the same stuff all the other characters do, so it's interesting that nothing is being picked up on R2's scanners. When Yoda's ship is again guided by the Force into the world, it is revealed that the interior is full of different floating islands, with each of them covered in very unique tropical looking plants, many of which resemble mushrooms, and there were even Nibre, which were considered non-sentient creatures that were one of the few species that were able to survive out in space. The only other known beings on this planet was the Force Priestess, which is supposed to be considered just one entity, as Dave Filoni has stated that this being was an individual who died a long time ago, whose consciousness is in the Force, but can still manifest herself to others. She will adjust her form as necessary, and sometimes this takes the form of the 5 personalities: serenity, joy, anger, confusion, and sadness. Though she refers to these embodied emotions as cousins, and says we watch over all the Force users in the galaxy, it is said that we should all think of this as just part of her teaching method. The interior of the structure she takes Yoda to looks a lot like the Jedi Temple on Lothal, complete with this kind of star map and the guiding golden orbs of light. After an initiation, the Force Priestess explains that this planet is a foundation of the Force, and that in a way, there is this law of conservation of the Force, in that the Midichlorians are the things that make other things alive, and that when that thing dies, the Midichlorians return to the cosmic force, which we could think of as that which provides souls. And when new things are born, they are animated with this material, the difference between inanimate and animate objects, much like the concept of a soul, and just as tricky when you try to say that some living things have a soul and others do not. This whole process is the cycle of the living and cosmic force, and in order to break out of this wheel, the Force Priestess says that at death, in order to preserve your identity, you must know yourself, your true self, and then let go. This is later explained that this means the removal of all evil from one's identity, which in reality should be seen as the removal of all fear. She then guides Yoda to the evil island, in which illusions were generated based on the fears of the being there. When Yoda passes these tests, the Force Priestess declared that she is dead, and was able to float between the physical and spiritual, the living and cosmic force. We don't see much more of this planet besides this, and we have to wonder how much of this was an illusion, as R2 was unable to see most of it, though I do believe that the world physically exists, unlike the planet Mortis, which is a pure Force illusion outside of the physical realm. As Mortis deals with the cosmic balance of the Force, the purpose and destiny of the universe, you could look at Mortis as the cosmic Force planet, and the Wellspring of Life as the living Force planet. And to end, I want to ask a question concerning Serenity's response to the other emotions when they were debating if Yoda could receive the Great Gift. Serenity silences them by saying his destiny is already set. It is not for us to decide. So it is definitely not the Force Priestess who is in charge of deciding the fate of the galaxy. But it begs the question, is it the father from Mortis, or somehow the Force itself? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's it for the Wellspring of Life, also known as the Force Planet. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to check out our social media, or ways that you can help support this channel, be sure to check out the description down below. If you want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications. But more important than all that, remember, never give in to fear, and the Force will be with you, always.